sincerely believe that education is more than reading, more than writing, it's more than math. It should first of all teach our children who they are. See, if you don't know who you are, then you will not know what to do with your life. And if you don't know what to do with it, then you won't know how to achieve your goals. So Alex Haley raised the question of, who am I? And he asked his mother, father, aunts, and his uncles who he was. Some people told Alex they were Negro. Some told Haley they were colored. Others told Alex they were black. Some said they were Afro-American. Some told Alex they were African. And lastly, some said American. Now, we are the only children and some adults that give 6 different answers to a very simple question like, who am I? Again, you cannot teach a child that is, first of all, not know who he is. It's more important than reading, math, and science. So we began to ask ourselves, why do Germans call themselves Germans? Why do Chinese call themselves Chinese? And we were told there's a land called Germany. There's a land called China. So let's go back to a world map. Germans are Germans, land called Germany. Chinese are Chinese, land called China. Let's go to a world map. Is there a place in the world called Negro land? What about color land? What about black land? What about Afro-American land? There's only 2 answers left, Africa and America. But be honest, what comes to most of our children's mind when they hit it with Africa? Tarzan, running around, no clothes on, be honest. And what about America, red, white, and blue, and apple pie? That's because this word right here, which is nothing but his story. You didn't know that? It's all history is. It's somebody's story. You know what I'm talking about. Or another way to look at it, my story. It's very, very close to the word mystery. And I want to clear up a couple of mysteries right now. What happened to a people that built the pyramids and yet now live in projects? What happened? What happened to a people that are the first to read and write using a term called hieroglyphics and yet now can no longer read or write? In essence, where do you start? See, we have found that many black youth are embarrassed talking about the history. I think one reason is where you start. The law says where you start will determine where you end up. Now, where do you want to start our children? If they started in 1619, they start on a plantation. That means they'll probably end up in a ghetto. But if you start 4 million years ago on a pyramid, they end up being free. Now, where do you want to start? On a plantation or on a pyramid? Because depending upon where you start will determine where they end up. Our first problem is we've been starting in the wrong place. And you cannot discuss 4 million years in 28 days. Black History Month. Now, I'm glad we got the month. It used to be a week. But you can't discuss 4 million years in 28 days. It's simply not enough time. And then the other issue. What are we going to discuss? You see, if all we're going to discuss are names and dates and events, then you can do that in about 28 days. But if you want to make it relevant, you connect the past with the present and with the future. In other words, what were our mistakes? Because the mistakes you want to avoid, and the strengths you want to reinforce. I'll say it clearly. Those that don't know their history, don't know their mistakes, are destined to repeat it over and over and over and over again. Our children need to know their story, and it did not start here. And it should be more than just names and dates and events. Suppose you gave birth to a child in an airplane in the middle of no place. We're going to call your child then Delta Airlines and United Airlines. Just because you're born in America doesn't make you an American. If someone asks you where you're born in America. But if someone asks you who you are, where your roots are, you either say African American or European American or Mexican American, but the who always comes first. Education is more than reading. It should first of all teach you who you are. But you know what else it should teach you? It should make you feel good about yourself. Now the question is, what makes you feel good about yourself? What gives you strong self-esteem? Well, we believe first, your relationship with God. Second, unconditional love from your parents. Third, high expectations from teachers. Fourth, feeling good about your race, color of your skin, and texture of your hair. And lastly, knowing where your talents are. Some of us are still using terms like good hair. And that to me is deep. You see, if you know what good hair is, then you must know what bad hair is. If you know what pretty eyes are, you must know what ugly eyes are. That's dialectic, the law of opposites. Our best seller for children is called Colors Around Them. We believe that our children come in all different colors. But no matter what color they are beautiful just the way they are. Now, what I've noticed speaking to the primary grade children across the country, they clap for all of them. So the Emily is brown like chocolate cake and very pretty. And Robbie is red like cinnamon rolls and very handsome. The primary grades clap for all the children. But the upper grade laugh at Michael, who's black like licorice king. And they also laugh at Joseph, who's black like ebony wood. Now you would think that the older our children are, the greater self-esteem would be. But exactly the opposite. And my question to you, what is it about America's images, where the longer these children live here, the less they feel about themselves. And remember, Renee is golden like a peach. And the upper grade clap for Renee, and they laugh at Joseph. Well, the reason's very simple. We allow somebody else to define for us what beauty is. If America defines beauty as light skin, long hair, and blue eyes is beautiful, haven't they told you what ugly is? It must be the exact opposite. It must be dark skin, short hair, and broad features. Once you know what is, you automatically know what's not. You didn't know that racism is a sign of insecurity? People that are secure are comfortable with differences. Only insecure people, we need to rationalize because they are different. It makes them better. But let me tease you one step further. It's the first day of school, and Renee comes walking to your classroom with her pretty dress on, her hair floating in the wind. And like all little boys, Joseph comes in behind her, but on this day of accident on his way to school, did not make it to the executive room in time. Now, do you sincerely believe that Joseph can learn as much as Renee? If you don't, you are unfit to teach our children. There are teachers who believe that Renee is smarter than Joseph. And when they believe that, you just become smarter than Joseph. This is deep. Do you think that what happened in slavery is over? Read Peculiar Institution by Kenneth Stamps, the slave-making process. We have to work on those kinds of issues. I believe you cannot do a good job in school if you don't like the way you look. Yes?
How do you attack the racial self-esteem within the peer group? For example, a boy saying she's good-looking for a black-skinned or dark-skinned girl, or vice versa. How do you attack that in the peer group? What are some ways of looking at it?
I think we have to confront it head on. In other words, the real damage now is not done between white and black. It's done among the black peer group, black adult as well. And so we have to confront that. We have to show them the beauty and strengths of their color. In other words, what are the benefits of dark skin? What are the benefits of your natural hair? See, we hear all about the benefits of being light skinned or being white or having European style hair. What are the benefits of dark skin? There are a lot of benefits.